The Crime Classification Manual, produced by former FBI profilers Robert Ressler and John Douglas, define an angel of death, what they refer to as a pseudo-mercy killer, as someone whom derives a sense of power and control from their killings as true motives. This is fascinating, noting that most laypersons assume an angel of death, a serial killing nurse, doctor, or other medical professional, as killing to put their victims out of their suffering. However, according to Douglas and Ressler, this is not the case, and they claim the true killing motivation has little to do with the offender's feeling of compassion or pity for the victims themselves. Shockingly, if tonight's killer and a recently arrested and accused nurse Lucy Letby fits the pseudo-mercy homicide bill, that would mean she satisfied her sick, vile, and depraved psyche by terminating the new lives of this world's most precious creations.
Welcome back to another episode of Talk Murder to Me.
Thank you for being such a gracious host.
Anytime, anytime.
I know you're just practicing your hostess skills because your mom's coming this week.
Got a lot of cleaning to do still.
You're like, I showed you that, I compared you to the Gupta phone call from Princess Diaries earlier, but it's also like that that video that came out a few years ago that it was like the mom ferociously cleaning.
Yes. Like, throw out the cushions. They can't know that we live here.
Yes.
I mean, I love my mom, and it's so funny, you know, as your parents get older, like, you start noticing them doing things that, like, your grandparents did. Yeah. And my grandmother was someone who, whenever she would go to someone's house, she'd, like, you know, kind of like clean things just mindlessly. And my mom was doing it when she came to visit last time.
Was she?
Yes, and I remember, like, sometimes she would clean things. I'm like, damn it, I knew I forgot to clean that. Shit! Because she opens up the microwave and she's, like, deep cleaning the microwave. I'm like, okay, this time I gotta make sure I clean the microwave.
When she was doing the fridge, she was like, I just thought it would be nice if I, like, cleaned out your fridge.
I know. I mean, I'm just like, dang it.
But, like, here's the thing is, like, your mom does it, like, in such a subtle way that it's like, oh my gosh, that's so sweet. And, like, I know if I were you, I'd be like, oh my gosh, like, I would be really upset about it. But at least your mom doesn't, like, outright call you out on the things that you need to do.
No, she's not like, you need to keep this house clean. Well, she's just like, oh, I thought I'd clean this for you because you clearly forgot.
Well, that's what. Okay, so my parents, when they came to visit in September, I came back. I got a phone call one day when I was at work, and my mom was like, did you know that your spare car keys were in your car? And I was like, no, I've been looking for those for months, actually. And she's like, I just cleaned out your car because it was so bad. And I was like, well, I mean, sorry, I still am in the process of, you know, I'm not totally unpacked, or, you know, my house is still not.
Maybe your bongos are in the car.
They could be. I'll look there.
Yeah.
I feel like I have looked there, but I also can't remember what I did yesterday.
All right. Before we get started, I want to say I got a lot of people over the years ask me about how to start a podcast. So Nicole and I are taking 10 persons of interest, and we're going
persons of interest. Yeah. I think that we're using that wrong.
I think he knows how he's using it, and he uses it correctly.
We're going to do 30 days, a 30-day run. So if you have a podcast idea, or if you just want to talk about The Crown and put it out there on iTunes and Spotify and all that stuff.
I'm impressed he actually got the name out of that.
I know.
You can do that. So what we're doing, basically how it's going to work is this. It's like an office hours thing. We're still going to create content for you guys to follow along with. I want you to have a good podcast after 30 days, and I want you to be set up so when January 1st hits, you can start rolling and eventually make money with it, because this is what I do full time. This pays me full time, and we're trying to get Jen and Nicole there, but it takes a while. So I can teach you how to do this as well if you want to. I'll be online, and I'll be able to do Skype calls or Zoom calls or whatever. You can set that up for us, and just take you by the hand and help you create it. And we can even help you create an idea and a passion or whatever.
And it's limited. You're only going to take 10 people on.
10 people,
per
yeah.
month.
And so
once you get through the program.
Yeah, and we're gonna put a lot of time in this, so we decided it's $49 to do this, and I feel like that's a steal. But then again, we don't really have training content or whatever. We're going to be making that with you guys. So if you would like to get this opportunity, and it's really simple, go to weregisteredpropodcaster.com. There is a form there, and it's basically your name, email, and if you got a podcast idea or whatever. Oh, also with that, if you don't want to do podcast, you have no care for that in the world, but you're an audio book reader, you want to start narrating on ACX, which is Amazon's program where authors can find narrators. And both Nicole and I have several books that we've narrated. Nicole's been way more successful than me.
I just have that calming voice.
Yeah, she had narrated.
You should try to get through with calm.
Oh, that's a good idea.
She had narrated one book that brought quite a bit. This guy was paying like $250 an hour or something like that. There's big money in ACX right now, and
help pay for that wedding.
Oh yeah. It was a big payout. I've done several books. She has done several books, and that is a great way to supplement income. Because now, today, like in society today, man, you need to be looking for a side hustle or something. So if it's not podcasting, maybe it's audio narration, and I can help you do that too. So either or, go to propodcaster.com and fill out the form, and you don't have to pay right now. We're going to select 10 people that we think is a really good fit, and then we'll send you the email and invite you. There will be a forum, and like I said, I'll be on office hours, so you can contact me anytime. I'll help you editing. I'll help you logo design. I can help you navigate all these pitfalls that almost 4 years ago that we had to deal with. So propodcaster.com if you're interested, and that's my plug for today. So, all right, I did not give you guys a hint tonight because we value Jen over here, and we didn't want her to fake an illness. But the hint that I wanted to give you was neonatal.
Oh no!
What?
So
neonatal, like preborn.
It's a story that's in the news right now, and I wanted to cover it. I thought there was more of a resolution, but I saw this person's name pop up, and I went ahead and dived in. If I could go back, I wouldn't cover the story right now. I would wait for more of
If I could go back, we would not discuss
Yes, I could turn back time.
But a lot of you guys have seen this in the news, so I wanted to compile everything that is there.
I wonder if this is going to be similar to the Brooke Schuyler Richardson case. That was one of my all-time favorites.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
So there's your hint.
Well,
and you might not want to guess because it's exactly what you think is.
Okay, let's just go on to the surprise shot then.
oh, right, I can do that. Surprise shots, surprise shots. We don't know what they are because they're a surprise. That was new.
He's changing it up. Cheers.
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 This is a special one for the holiday.
I don't hate it, but I don't love it.
You remember last time we recorded?
Liked it.
Yeah, and you found like 3 shot glasses in the closet.
Oh my God.
Did you edit all that out where I threw the glasses?
I think so.
Did you?
Yeah, when she was like, "Did you throw that?" I did a lot of editing on that video,
my God.
and so I mean, so I spent roughly 8 hours editing that video, only because the first time that I edited it, I spent like 5 hours making sure that everything was kosher. And then when I published
things
it,
got a little buck wild in here. Let me just say,
some things are better left for this room.
Yeah.
And then John texted me and he's like, "Hey, can you get that watermark off of my face? Because the program that I used put a watermark on it. And I didn't realize that when it said that I could do free editing, that it was going to make me do a watermark." And then I was like, "Yeah, okay, it can't be that bad. Maybe it'll be at the corner of the picture." No, right across the middle of the screen.
No, right across my face.
Which John's face was in the middle of the screen.
Let me just say, John wouldn't have cared if it was over one of our faces.
I know.
I wouldn't have given a shit.
He would have been like, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's not that bad. Yeah, no.
I'm just saying.
The moneymaker.
I'm calling it like I see
You can't cover the moneymaker.
Hell
so.
yeah. This face gets y'all paid.
So then it was like a whole ordeal to like try to find the right program that I could, and then I couldn't convert it, and it was just like a whole thing. So then I spent 3 more hours editing that video, and it was just so there were times where I think I did an okay job. I
don't get that drunk. You know.
Oh no, that's not the lesson.
For a
the
while.
lesson is to ask John to send you an MP4 file so that you can just use iMovie instead of having to find software that will have to do an MKV file. But yeah, so I think I think the transitions are not that bad, but it's also the first time I've like edited a video like that. So
I don't think people want transitions. I think they just want to see the whole thing. But with this video, guys, we literally got toasted, and I did not want to put myself out there like that. There was 20 minutes of like like where John was in the hallway, like because he was just out of the room. Because I didn't eat all that day, so I was really drunk. So I didn't want that on there.
That's fine. So
we are putting this story on YouTube, guys. So if you are new here especially, I put all my sources, videos, photos, links, and everything else on talkmurder.com. So go there and you will see this story front and center. You can also go to youtube.com and type in Talk Murder to Me, and we are recording this live. There is some 20 minutes of the banter talking about the crown, but...
No, that was only 5 minutes.
But we are recording it live, and you can actually see what I'm showing the 2 girls tonight, all the pictures and videos and such right there on the screen for you. So there you go.
May I also just say very, very briefly that you don't realize how long a minute really is unless you're editing content.
This lady on the screen, her name is Lucy Letby. You may have seen this in the news. Where do you think she's from?
Ohio.
I can't tell, but she's at a sporting event, so some metropolitan area that is popular enough to have a sports team.
Well, let me make this easy.
That is so incredibly vague.
Well, not every, like Charleston, we don't have a big professional sports team. I mean, we have the River Dogs, which recently cut ties with the Yankees.
Well, there's a certain thing in this photo which you can see exactly where she's from if you look for it. Do you want me to go ahead and tell you? Let me zoom in a little bit.
Oh, London.
Oh, shit. Oh, fuck.
We're in London town.
I zoomed in on her teeth.
She doesn't have that bad of teeth, but I'm just saying that you traditionally England is known for having bad teeth.
Americans are known for having great teeth.
Well, and everyone has these teeth whiteners now, and I don't know if it's
so why don't they use them over there?
Well, her teeth aren't yellow.
I don't know. I guess braces are not a priority.
I mean, it's not that bad. I guess she has. It's just one tooth is a little bit longer than the other one.
All right. So tonight we are going to current day about a week ago. Well, no, a little more than a week ago. About 8 days ago.
Oh wow, this is very recent.
Yeah, very recent. It's in the news. I kept seeing it, so I have all these RSS feeds with serial killers and all kinds of keywords.
What does RSS stand for?
Really simple syndication. So that's what it stands for. And I don't know.
Really simple syndication.
Dude, I didn't create that. And this lady, her name kept popping up on all kinds of threads. So I decided to do her story. Like I said, I should have waited because she was just arrested for this crime recently, but they haven't sentenced her or anything yet. If you want to read this, Nicole, this is from Thursday, November 12th, 2020. This is from CNN.
British nurse charged with murder of 8 babies appears in court.
Oh, I know.
Whoa!
Why did I pick this story?
I was not expecting us to go there.
Nope, I'm gonna need another beer. I'm just saying that right now. I don't tolerate this bullshit.
There's no heavy details, guys, that we're going to talk about, I promise, because that stuff hasn't came out yet.
Well, we could do a follow-up episode, maybe.
Yeah, follow-up episode. So don't worry. It's not going to be very. I mean, it's heartbreaking, but it's not going to be.
That headline alone is
No, I
enough
know.
to send my blood. I literally feel it like heating up. I'm getting very upset. Like not sad upset, like angry upset. Like I want to go all the way across the pond and like punch her in the face
So the most prolific.
or in the throat or in the ovaries, so she can't have children.
The most prolific the most prolific baby killers in London before this happened was the Brady and Myra Hindley case,
Right.
the Moors murders, which I have not covered, but they killed 5 children. So she has
Taking the
beaten that
cake.
record by 3.
A British nurse has appeared in court charged with 8 counts of murder and 10 counts of attempted murder, following an investigation into a number of baby deaths at a hospital in Cheshire, northwestern England.
All right, and so I went back and I looked for news in 2018 when she was first arrested, but there was surprisingly not many. I don't know if the media just didn't want to.
They don't want to cover baby murders.
Yeah, they don't want to cover baby murders. She is a nurse. And
So she's specifically like a baby nurse, right? Or,
yes,
you know,
she is
neonatal?
a baby nurse, and I'm gonna get into her training and everything else. But she was working at the Countess of Chester Hospital. So now this was in 2018 when she got arrested. The police had conducted a complete probe on these baby deaths, and only one person was arrested, and that was this nurse. In 2018, she was 28 years old when she was arrested. She was actually arrested 3 times for this, but I looked it up. The first time she was arrested, that was the end of her caring for babies. Okay. They put her into, because she wasn't guilty yet, so they just transferred her to like admin work, computers and stuff.
Well, she should have been relieved of her duties. Period.
Well, she was, but she was not guilty yet. Now, what I'm trying to say is now she's guilty. After,
I don't know what their employment laws are like over there.
yeah, I don't either, but they did move her to
It is an at-will state here in South Carolina, and so you could just
Same thing in
you don't
Massachusetts,
necessarily
too.
have to.
No, you got to be, they can't just fire you. Well, I mean, yeah, they can, I guess, in hospital.
You could. I mean, it's come up before where, like, if someone's in jail, they don't show up to work, like, that's a fire, a reason why we might be able to fire somebody.
Right. Well, I want to just correct what I just said. Sorry. I don't know if Massachusetts is specifically, but I know that the company where I was in HR was an at-will employer. So
Wait, what do you mean at
We're
will?
not. We can just fire you.
There does not have to be any reason.
What about
to
in South
let someone
Carolina?
go.
It's an at-will state. So in the state.
However, you can still,
So I
if you
can-
are let go, you
So I can fire you, like, because you're a woman?
False. That's where it's still illegal.
The EEOC comes in.
Okay,
there.
because
That's where you
All
can
right.
still say I was fired because I am a protected class.
Well, guys, disregard my last post. I am not looking for a new host for this podcast.
Thanks.
He was probably talking about me, Nicole. I think
No,
you
I
don't have
said
less things to.
host. Anyway, can you read this, Nicole? This is from the Sun, if you can see there, the Sun.
The report noted that several of the tots who collapsed were surprisingly unresponsive to resuscitation and displayed sudden mottling on their arms and legs as if they were revived.
Hold on, I should have used tots as the hint, and then we could have went to Sonic.
Tater
No,
tots.
man. Damn it, that would have been good.
Tater tots.
Did you guys know that I have not one, but 2 Sonics within 7 minutes of my house?
No, I did not, Jen. Thank you.
I'm just saying, there's only one here, so
There used to be 2.
yeah. Also, I went to Culver's last night and I got a frozen custard, and it was so good. So we need to go there.
I'm more of a Dairy
dip
Queen,
Dip cone.
Dorothy Stratton type of person.
Well, listen, you'll enjoy, and you will like this. You'll like it because they have soft pretzels there too, and they're very good.
Ooh.
And cheese curds.
I want to throw them out the window. All right, go ahead. I threw pretzels out.
Yeah,
Anyway.
you did. You threw
All right,
pretzels out
Nicole,
there.
the window.
can you read this again?
Did you see the video?
No, Nicole, can you read?
He's hot.
Can you read this? Is from the Sun.
The report noted that several of the tots who collapsed were surprisingly unresponsive to resuscitation and displayed sudden mottling on their arms and legs as if they were revived. but pathologists failed to conduct toxicology, blood electrolyte, or blood sugar tests on any of the babies during autopsy. It also claims a panel on safety in the neonatal unit were poorly attended, with just 7 of the 20 panel members turning up at a meeting in May 2016.
Well, that's poor attendance.
Yeah.
What does modeling mean? It's not modeling for you guys, YouTube, for anyone listening. It's not modeling, M-O-D-E-L. It's M-O-T-T-L-I-N-G, and I don't think I've ever seen that word before. What does that mean?
Model is M-O-T-T-L-E, is a mark with spots or smears of color. So almost like bruises.
Okay.
Let me show you a photo real quick. And I guess
okay.
it's...
I thought you were
okay.
about to show us a picture.
No,
of
see,
a
there's a baby arm with modeling on it. You see?
Okay. Oh,
yeah.
okay. So like almost like
cluster
where
of bruises.
where the brain.
No, it's not
brains,
bruises. It's like
veins, like where the veins
Yeah.
are.
And when I was looking it up, and this is sad, but there's actually infant death is not rare.
SIDS.
A lot, yeah. Well, not SIDS per se,
baby
but in the hospital, these are neonatal. These are right out of the womb type of babies. But a lot of times the lungs will collapse and the babies get resuscitated. And usually they can get resuscitated because when this panel, the 20 panel members did this year-long inspection, this probe, they went into the fact, and I'll put the whole document on talkmurder.com, but they went into the fact that usually the infants can be resuscitated, and at this point it never happened. Like there was a lot that were not successfully resuscitated, and I believe that's the 10 attempted murder cases that she's tried for. So she killed 8, and there's 10 attempted murder that she's going to trial for right now. But that I have all the information here that is out. So, and I do want to keep up to date on this case, definitely. I don't know. Anyway, this is the baby probe timeline. So, 2013, 2 babies die on Countess of Chester Hospital neonatal unit. 2014, a further 3 babies die at the unit. June 2015 to July 16, 15 babies die on neonatal unit, and 6 others suffer non-fatal collapses. So tell me which year you think she was working at this hospital.
All of them?
Well, yeah, all of them, but when she was in her prime, if you will.
Well,
2015 to
yeah.
2016.
Exactly.
Well, I mean,
and that's when these cases, that's when they really focused on the cases. I mean, look at this. 2 babies die in 2013. Two babies in 2013 die. In a year, from June 2015 to July 2016, 15 babies die. That is not even double. That's what, not even quadruple. That's one up from that.
That's almost it's
Sextupled.
between 7 and 8 times, 7.5 times the amount of 2013. But that's where, I mean, your job as a neonatal nurse is literally to like make sure these babies survive. So I mean, even if 1 dies, it's very, very sad, very upsetting. But 2 is like, okay, that seems like it may have been natural causes, but you have 15. Right. Someone's not doing their job.
Something's going on at this hospital.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
And it could just be that the nurse is inexperienced and can't save them.
There you go.
Or negligent.
So that's different than murder. So,
that's right.
But if you go back to the first slide from CNN, it said murder. So the reason she was arrested 3 times prior is because it was still in that, well, maybe she's just a really shitty nurse or whatever.
But I would say that.
But now it's definite murder she's getting tried for.
I would say that for like maybe the year where there were 3 infant deaths and you're inexperienced. That's something where it's like, okay, like we need to take you off of this floor because you clearly are not as experienced or not doing your job. And I would even say, I don't even think I would just move you off of that floor. I think I would relieve you of your duties at that point because,
you're clearly unqualified.
Correct.
Even if they have like similar at-will laws where, you know, maybe she's not convicted, I would still say there is cause there because she would be inadequate.
Correct.
And to performing far below expectations for her job.
Mm-hmm. Correct. And I'm sure that, I mean, if you have a death, that would be a documented experience. So it's not like we're just like, oh yeah, you're not doing your job. Bye. Like, it's like
clearly a life is on your hands.
Correct.
Well, apparently they didn't do any, because it may have been
bad on the hospital.
It may have been a drug or something, but they didn't do any toxicology reports on it. So I don't know. I'm really interested because think about this. Let's go back to this girl right quick.
No, it doesn't matter if there was a drug or not. Like, your job, like I said, is literally to make sure these babies stay alive.
Well, yeah, I know. But we've done plenty of angel of death cases, and they're usually about the same. We did Charles Cullen. Mm-hmm. They usually kill older people.
People that you don't notice.
It's almost like they maybe started because they want to put someone out their misery and then they get addicted to killing or something. You know, it varies. Elizabeth Wetlaufer from Canada, she saw a, quote, red surge before she would kill someone. We did a Bulgarian guy named Ivo Pape. Mm-hmm. He was a Catholic. He was
Belgian.
Oh, Belgian, but he was Catholic, wasn't he? Yeah, he was Catholic.
The deacon of death.
And what I said Belgian, didn't I?
You said
Catholic.
Bulgarian.
Oh, I said Bulgarian.
I was like, I did not live in Bulgaria, but
one of the places she hasn't been.
Yeah,
to.
exactly.
I've been. So
I feel like regardless of, I mean, if someone is older, you can tell if, and I'm not justifying this at all, but if someone is older, there are far more hosts of illnesses that can go wrong, and with infants. Like were the infants that died, did they have, like, were they born without several organs? Were they born with a blood-borne disease that they wouldn't be able to thrive on? I feel like with infants, it's so much, like, with the way that modern science is, even in 2018, that was 2 years ago, but that's science is far more advanced than when those people were operating, that if something is wrong, like, they can thrive. There are so many instances where you hear about, I wasn't supposed to live 16 hours, but now look at me, I'm 25 years old and a CEO of a company. You know what I mean? Like, just for an example, like, there's so much that can be done for these babies now, especially with infants. Like, as soon as they spot something wrong, it's like that. It goes, they're a high priority population. So to think that, 15 in the large scale of babies that are born across the world doesn't sound like a lot, but coming from one hospital in a year
one hospital, yeah.
Fascinating that you guys are talking about this, and you mentioned the ACX book. The ACX book that I did do was actually about an infant
one of
death.
them you did, yeah.
And like the babies were like accidentally switched at a church event. I mean, they were both like 3 days old, so they couldn't tell, and one of them died. So there you go. Two Hunters. If you want to hear a book
the book's called Two Hunters. It's narrated by Nicoise.
I have to listen to it.
Yeah.
I
got it on Audible. Yeah.
I just started listening to
I edited it and produced it, but I still got it.
I will read it or listen to it rather, because I like Audible books, actually. Like, I just started listening to I Want to Be Where the Normal People Are by Rachel Bloom, who is the actress behind Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, which everyone knows is one of my very favorite shows. So shout out to Rachel Bloom if you ever hear this.
So I want to go back to Lucy's photo right here, because we cover a lot of angel of death cases. They're usually about elderly victims, but this lady right here, Lucy Letby, is 30 years old. So, and we do not know this yet, but why? What's her motivation for killing these babies?
She cannot have children herself?
I don't know. So we do not know that yet, but that is something that I would like to find out in the future once they come out with it. Right now, she's only been charged with murder. Okay, so to be honest, she's not even guilty.
She has not been convicted yet.
No, she has not been convicted yet. So
I guess I just wouldn't be able to understand if that was her motivation, that she can't have children at all, as to why, if she was bitter about that. I mean, I can understand if you can't have children at all and you, like, want to help in the neonatal unit because you want to help high-risk pregnancies and things like that. But to take that, I guess we can't really levy this on her because she hasn't been convicted or found guilty yet, so we can't definitively say that, yes, this happened. But I just wouldn't be able to understand that. Like, you're going to take these high-risk situations because you can't have a child so someone else can.
No, I'm not saying she can't have a child. I'm just saying, like, I'm trying to figure out the motivation behind it, because this is.
She's just a sick fuck.
I've never saw in my experience with this podcast a angel of death killing babies. I mean, I believe this is a first. I want to say that this may be a first, from what I saw at least. Anyway, let's move on. In February, and this is 2016, senior doctors and nursing staff carry out high-level review into 10 neonatal deaths at the hospital. Let me go back to this timeline. Chiefs announced that gravely ill babies will be cared for by neighboring units. So they actually are not allowed, after this happened in 2016, to care for babies under a certain age. And I'll get more into that in a second. And yesterday, this is from the timeline here, female healthcare workers arrested on suspicion of murder. Now let's move on.
So she is only doing this with babies who have had or who have issues.
So they're in the NICU.
Like they're not healthy, perfectly healthy babies.
She's in the neonatal unit. I don't know if it's the NICU.
Oh.
I do not know. I did not see the NICU anywhere unless, like, the information, I got all of it here. They didn't specify. Well,
especially being in England.
If they're already ill, that's a good question.
Especially being in England, I mean, they have a lot of different terms than we would.
So if you're at talkmore.com or watching the YouTube video, this is her right here, and she's actually holding up a baby shirt or something, onesie, and that's her graduating photo right there. She started working at the Chester and District Standard in 2013. After graduating, her degree, her education was caring for babies requiring various levels of support. She also trained with Liverpool Women's NHS Foundation and Trust, and in 2011 she graduated BSc, which I guess is bachelor's and then
science.
Is that what the C is? Oh, I don't know.
Well, BS is normally bachelor's of science.
Oh, but then there's a small c, lowercase c.
It's probably bachelor's.
Okay,
science.
And she graduated with honors in child nursing. So if you want to read this is from the Daily Mail. This is a little bit about who Lucy Letby is and trying to get into what her personality.
One friend of the Letbys described Miss Letby as a professional nurse who was dedicated to her dream job and wouldn't hurt a fly. The woman, who wished to remain anonymous, said,
"We're still reeling from it, to be honest."
The woman continued,
"Even after sleeping on it, I think everybody around here is still in a state of shock and disbelief. Lucy was doing the job she dreamed of doing, and appeared nothing but dedicated and professional. You can't imagine her hurting a fly, let alone defenseless babies."
Another resident on the street, who also did not want to be named, added,
"I can't add much more to what's already been said about her."
Yeah, and if you're a fan of Daily Mail, here's the pictures they post on like Daily Mail and stuff.
Ooh. Hey, I look like I'd be friends with her. I'm not gonna lie, she looks like she likes to have a good time.
The photo I'm showing them, she's drinking a pitcher, and then the next photo, she's done with the pitcher.
Done that.
And then she's making a goofy face.
Done that for sure.
Jordan Sands at the Times of London said, quote, "She was quite awkward and geeky, but seemed like a kind-hearted person. She was loved by her coworkers, and not only that, she was instrumental in a fundraising campaign, getting 3 million euros to build a baby unit at the hospital."
Wow.
And she actually told an interview before all this happened. This was 2013. Quote, "I hope the new unit will provide a greater degree of privacy and space." That's foreboding. Think about it now. Privacy.
Yeah.
Shit. She was described as, quote, "the champion of kitties."
Kiddis?
Yeah, kitties.
Kiddies, excuse me.
She also says, quote, "My role involves caring for a wide range of babies, requiring various levels of support. Some are here for a few days, others for many months, and I enjoy seeing them progress and supporting their families." So, pretty sad. Here's some more from her friends and neighbor.
I knew her when she was a little girl, and she was as sweet as anything. I've seen her grow up, and she seemed a lovely woman. So this news is deeply and utterly shocking. I can't fathom it. When you hear these sorts of things, you always get one or more or two people saying, I thought there was something fishy about them. But with Lucy, all you would hear is positive things.
A shop worker at a store close to the family home said,
They pop in now and again, and they're a very polite family. They all seem very friendly and normal. It's shocking as it is a nice area, and we rarely see police around here.
All right, back to the Daily Mail.
oh, geez.
So I'm showing them a picture of her on a stripper pole.
That's one thing you won't see with me because, like I said in the last episode, no one wants to see that.
So this is her. I mean,
she parties.
Yeah, she
but
parties.
Who does it?
Yeah, I know. And I'm not putting these up to make her look bad. This is just what the Daily Mail puts up to make her look bad.
Yeah.
I'm just putting it up because she's on a stripper pole. Yeah.
That's what,
Yeah. So that's why I do it.
Notice as he crosses his legs.
One neighbor said their only child was a very career-driven person, describing her as dedicated to her job.
Her parents have been my neighbours for at least 25 years, so I watched Lucy grow up. Lucy lives away but visits them frequently, as any good daughter would. They adored her. They just got back from a long week holiday in Torquay. She added, I just can't truly believe it. She was a delight. Her parents must be going through hell.
Parents begged police to widen probe into baby deaths at English Hospital after their daughter almost died from a catastrophic lung collapse.
Ooh.
That is the headline from the Daily Mail Online, July 7th, 2018. This is 2018,
before they bring her in.
Yeah, that's this 2018. This is so what you're reading now is I don't want to say victim that got away, but Lucy Letby had worked on this child here, and during her time, the parents do know that. So if you want to read this.
A couple whose daughter almost died in a hospital at the center of a police investigation into the deaths of 17 babies have called on officers to widen the probe. Felicity Whitfield, now 4 years old, suffered a catastrophic lung collapse 3 days after being born prematurely at the Countess of Chester Hospital in November 2013. She came so close to death that a chaplain was called to conduct an emergency baptism. However, doctors at a second hospital revived her in a procedure which had been tried twice without success at Chester.
Did you guys know that in Catholicism, in the state of emergency, if you're Catholic and you've been confirmed, you can perform a baptism?
Yeah, they did that in the Black Death. That in the 1400s, there would be not even pastors yet, just deacons or whatever that would get almost like deputized to perform.
Well, deacons can perform
confessions.
Baptism.
Well, there was confessions.
Well,
I meant
confessions are
like
different.
last rite confessions.
That's different, but this is baptism. You can perform as a lay person. If in the case of emergency, you can perform a baptism.
Yeah, I peed in the baptism water. The 2016 hospital review. I'm just going to read a little bit here. One surviving infant was mentioned as having needed resuscitation for similar collapses over 3 nights, but subsequently recovered. And the review team said this was near misses. That's what they said. So this is part of the 10 attempted murders. So this is her home. How many cats do you think live in this home?
7.
No, there's 2 cats that live in her home. And she does live alone. This is a 3-bedroom house. And it's 1.5 miles away from the hospital. She's a member of 14 Facebook groups about baby care. I don't know. This is all the information I got.
Are townhomes and like flats, like townhomes, are those more common in Britain, I feel, than like standalone single family homes? They call them cottages, I guess. I don't know.
They are pretty common in Europe.
So the investigation in 2018, this is a police officer you're looking at right here, looking through the drainage at her house. They were bringing evidence out in boxes. They dug up her back garden. It's just all kinds of stuff. So it really makes me wonder what exactly was going on, but obviously that information is not public yet. But I mean, look at this guy. He is like looking in the drain for something. What is he looking for?
I'd let that cop look through my drain too.
God, I mean, look how many fingers are in that hole. Are you sure about that?
Almost his entire fist.
The investigation and 2018 arrest, it launched the probe. Like I said, they were investigating initially 17 baby deaths and 15 non-fatal collapses. And she was initially arrested on the murder of 8 and attempted murder of 6, which is now 10.
Wow.
She is now the most prolific child killer in Britain.
Assuming convicted.
Correct.
Yeah. The hospital, now this may be a motivator because the hospital was extremely understaffed and stress really makes you do things, will really push you over the edge. But not just understaffed. They were understaffed by 21%, which that means a lot of second shifts you got to do right in a row and stuff like that. A lot of stress there. And the hospital did get some pushback from that. And honestly, they should shut that neonatal center down at their hospital. I mean, who the hell is going to bring their baby to this hospital ever again? You know what I'm saying?
Well,
Holy shit.
I mean, probably a lot of emergency
Yeah,
births.
that's true. The baby death rate when she was in the hospital apparently was 10% higher. Those numbers don't really make sense to me. But a non-fatal collapse is when the infant's health severely declines, but it survives. So maybe the lungs stop working, but it survives. The last thing I got here, and the only information, guys, this is all the information out right now, every bit of it, of what we know about Lucy Letby right now. More information to follow. I'll probably do a follow-up episode, but this is the victim list from what has been posted.
The victims in this case have been identified as Semlin Bennett, Maddie Freed, Barney Gee, Eli Gelder, Joseph Gelder, Joseph Johnson, Elsie McNeil, and Daisy Parkin.
I see 2 brothers in there. Eli
Twins.
Gelder and Gelder. And so that's
Sounds like a law firm.
That is all the information we have on Lucy Letby at the time. That is it. That is completely all the information.
I'd be very interested to hear how this one plays out.
Yeah, I want to see what her motivator was for doing this because like I said, we covered plenty of angel death stories, but not anyone killing babies. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed that. If you're watching on YouTube, thank you so much, and I look forward to the next episode. We release episodes every Tuesdays and Fridays. Be sure to subscribe. If you're not subscribed yet, subscribe to the YouTube channel. And like I said before, if you're interested in podcasting, go to propodcaster.com and send me a message. My name is John. I'm here with Jen and Nicole. And until next time, good night, you lovely, lovely people.